Welcome to today's edition of Your Questions Answered with Father Gruner. I'm John Veneri. This is a program in which we take your questions that you send to us, and we're very happy because we are getting questions from you. Keep them coming. You see the email at the bottom of the screen. Contact us at questions@thefatimacenter.com. We've been talking about the scapular, the miracles and the protection that the scapular gives, both in the supernatural order and in the natural order, saving people's lives and things of that nature. But this all started with a question, someone who wrote to us asking about the origins of the scapular and how it pertains to Fatima. So do you want to deal with that a little bit?
Well, see, yes, Our Lady certainly spoke. Our Lady has, talked about the scapular or indicated the scapular over the centuries. Certainly, she appeared in 1251 on the 16th of July. That's her feast day, making this great promise. But she's talked about it since and indicated it since. For example, in Lourdes, the last apparition of Our Lady at Lourdes was on July 16th. Okay. Everything that Our Lady does,
and July 16th is
the feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel.
Right.
And so, but at Fatima, she didn't speak about the scapular, but on the day of the great miracle of the sun, she held the scapular out like this. Mm-hmm. As Lucy has explained, she wants every one of us to wear the scapular. And the scapular then, by putting the scapular on, we are saying something quite, although we are not really saying a word by putting the scapular on, but once you're enrolled in the scapular, you're subject to the promises of the scapular. It's because Our Lady says to all Carmelites, and by being enrolled, that is by having a little ceremony of priest, if you're only one of you being enrolled at the time, it takes about 30 seconds. If you're having a group of them, part of it is the priest puts it over your shoulders, says a prayer, then says two prayers after that, and one prayer before to bless the scapular. Anyway, by wearing the scapular, you are saying to Our Lady, in effect, I'm under your protection. I trust your promises to me, and I will try and be a good son or daughter to you. Now, by putting the scapular on, it takes a little bit of time. It's my thesis is 70 pages long, so I don't try to compress it very quickly. But the Blessed Virgin is not only the mother of Jesus, she certainly is the mother of Jesus, but she's also the mother of each one of us. And so the Vatican Council says that she's a mother because she generates us in a spiritual way, just like a mother gives us natural life, mm-hmm. She's our natural mother. Our spiritual mother gives us supernatural life, which is sanctifying grace. And so at the moment of baptism, the Blessed Virgin is maternally generating us into the life of grace. So when we are in the state of sanctifying grace, we have two lives in us. We have our natural life, which we all see by the effects of what we do, but we also have supernatural life, sanctifying grace.
Also, I'll just interject here. This is the real meaning of being born again.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, Protestantism has taken it up and given it another definition, but to be born again means to be baptized and brought into the life of sanctifying grace.
Yes, and that life of sanctifying grace is what you need to get into heaven. Without sanctifying grace in your soul, you can't get to heaven. And that's why mortal sin is called mortal, because it kills the life of grace in you. So, but back to the saint. So Our Lady becomes our spiritual mother at the moment that we are born in sanctifying grace. And so, by putting the scapular on, we are symbolically speaking what St. Augustine speaks about and St. Louis de Montfort speaks about, that we are, just as in St. Paul speaks about, we are born, we rise with Christ. We in baptism, when you're immersed in the waters of baptism, you die with Christ, mm-hmm. You rise with Christ. Well, they extend that to and then we live in Christ. Well, they're pointing out that just like Christ was carried in the womb of the Blessed Virgin, by being generated in the life of grace, we are with Christ, the head, being carried in the womb of the Blessed Virgin, and this symbolizes by being borne over our shoulders. Under her mantle, which covers her womb, mm-hmm. that we are under her mantle. We are mm-hmm. in her womb, and that we are born of her fully when we go to heaven. And so,
well, this is the beautiful thing too about what the Catholic faith gives us, because everyone understands a mother's love.
Yes, yes.
And we can only have great pity for someone who doesn't. They're rare.
Yes.
But so the Church has given us, and our Lord has given us, His mother, to be that one who nurtures, who does all the things that a mother does.
Well, in fact, at the crucifixion, Christ himself said on the cross, he said, "Son, behold thy mother, mother, behold thy son." He was telling St. John that she is your mother. But of course, St. John's own natural mother was standing beside the Blessed Virgin, mm-hmm. because it's mentioned the other two Marys, one of them was John's mother. But he was saying that John, this is your spiritual mother. Mm-hmm. And of course, John understood that. But it's not just St. John, but the beloved.
He represented all of us.
Yes. And so that's the point, that we are sons and daughters of the Blessed Virgin Mary in the spiritual. And she's truly mother because she generates us into life of grace. It's not just symbolic or not just adoption, it's a true motherhood. And it's a true sonship and daughterhood of the Blessed Virgin. So this symbolizes that by wearing on, we're symbolizing we're under Our Lady's mantle, that we're in her womb spiritually until we're born of her in heaven.
And it's also an act of devotion.
Yes,
on our part. So why we do that, it's a physical.
It's a prayer. On the way, I trust you. I trust in your promise, and I acknowledge that I belong to you. I'm your son. And that's why the sign of the scapular should be a sign of our personal consecration to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. And that's another talk altogether, I'm sure. I don't know how much time we have here, John.
That's it. I think at this point too, I don't. Probably in the next program, do you want to talk more about Fatima or
yes, Our Lady spoke about the message.
The actual, and then the consequences of that is Fatima, in a way, gave a rebirth to the devotion to the scapular. So we can talk about that next time. Thank you.